Hello, Horror Nights In family, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, your home for scary movie reviews and creepy theories I find on the internet. So in this video, there will be spoilers. So if you haven't seen the newest Scream, please do not watch this. Okay, let's do it.
Take a little walk to the edge of town and go across the track.
Alright, so if you're a Scream fan like me, you've probably devoured everything you could about the newest film. And I can't not put up my own review, because if you're a longtime follower of mine, and maybe even a newer subscriber, you probably know that Scream is my favorite horror movie. I love pretty much everything about it, and I especially love Billy Loomis, who I can admit is probably, well, most certainly one of my favorite horror movie villains. I was lucky enough to be able to see the new Scream in theaters twice. I was most excited to see this film because, believe it or not, I've never seen a Scream film in theaters. I know, bonkers. So I was excited to finally get to see Ghostface on a nice big screen. And of course, make sure you stay till the end of this video for my review and some pretty interesting Easter eggs. First, I want to talk about how cool this film was visually. The filmmakers were able to capture so much with quick camera turns, and there was even some moments where the background looked kind of warped. They were also able to intensify the visuals with the eerie music. They took the very classic, what's behind that door, but they just added so much more to it. Like with Wes Hicks and his mother, Deputy Judy Hicks, when they were murdered. We know that Ghostface was lurking around somewhere, but we weren't sure where. So when Wes was opening like the cabinet drawers and doors, and then when he was opening the refrigerator door, and the camera panned in, I was definitely on the edge of my seat. Even though I knew this was a classic jump scare, I still really liked it. Second, as expected, the film was very self-aware. It broke down basically all of the walls, and we felt as if we could see all the angles of the story and the characters as well. It also made pop culture references, in addition to the horror and slasher genre as a whole. New character, Mindy Meeks Martin, shed light on the term requel, which can be defined as a movie that revisits subject matter of an earlier film, but it's not a remake or a continuation of its plot. The script, in my opinion, was also very well written to allow these group of friends to become characters that we actually like. Characters that we may want to see again. I was a really big fan of the main character, Sam Carpenter, of course Mindy, and Mindy's twin brother, Chad. Our veteran cast, of course, was also there, and they were given their moments to shine, while we still held steadfast to the new characters. Jack Quaid, who played Sam's boyfriend, Richie, also added the touch of comedy that we needed. And he coined lots of horror film references. He was also watching Stab on Netflix. And we also got a few Easter eggs when he was watching the Stab review on YouTube, which we will talk about in just a minute. At the end of the day, Richie is really all of us, except for without, the murdering tendencies. He is consumed, infatuated, and obsessed with all things Stab. He wanted to see the horror film franchise thrive, even if he had to do it himself with a little help. Which of course brings us to Amber Freeman, who I personally overlooked and honestly wasn't really a big fan of hers, but her last moments in the film did help. And she was absolutely channeling Stu Macher as the spit was flying out of her mouth during the third act. And if you like horror movie reviews like this one, hit that like button so I know so I can make more. So with that being said, let's talk about the motive. So I am thankful once again to have seen the film twice, because the first time I was very overwhelmed during the final act, considering so much was being said and so much was happening. But of course this was mirroring the 96 Scream as expected. So we have our two killers, Richie and Amber, who met on a Reddit thread that ripped the last installment of Stab 8 apart. The two are crazed super fans, obsessed with restoring the film that they love and the franchise that they love to its original glory by creating their own story. So the real villain here is toxic fandoms. It really hones in how superfans can drive themselves mad if they don't like what they see. And Amber and Richie are exactly the fans who Mindy is alluding to earlier in the film. So who did Amber and Richie kill in this film? I think the only one that really weighs heavy on our hearts is, of course, Deputy Dwight Riley. We see him as this washed up, forced to retire Woodsboro sheriff, who really in the beginning wants no part in helping Sam and Richie. I mean, he even figures out one of the two Ghostface killers within seconds of them entering his home. We also see that he is battling his own demons and is still very much in love with his ex-wife Gail Weathers. We also see him call Sydney, warn her that it's happening again, and then also tell her not to come here. He also does the same thing with Gail. Okay, so back to the kill. As soon as those elevator doors closed, I was literally up out of my seat screaming in the movie theater, no, 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 because I knew it was gonna happen. I think we all kind of knew in this Scream installment that we would see one or at least one of the three original casts be murdered. Do I think it should have been Dewey? No. But I also have to respect the fact that the filmmakers did mean business when they decided on Dewey as the one to go. Gail would have been maybe a better choice, but I can also understand why Dewey was chosen. I also want to really applaud the writers for the iconic line of "it was an honor" when Ghostface was slicing and dicing. So for some of the other kills, we of course have Deputy Judy Hicks and her son Wes, who, might I add, had some pretty brutal death scenes. We also get the kill of the forgettable and kind of annoying character Liv McKenzie, and then of course we have our Ghostface killers Amber and Richie. And of course there is Vince, who was killed in the beginning, with the iconic Nick Cave's red right hand, is playing in the car moments before his demise, which is a song that served as the main theme for Scream's original trilogy. And comment down below who is your favorite kill, because I want to know why. And that brings us right into the Easter eggs, which I think sometimes are the most fun when you're watching a film like this. We have Tara playing with the knives, which is a mirror of Casey in the original Scream. The main character, Sam, her name is a nod to Halloween and Psycho. Her surname is a reference to John Carpenter, who of course directed Halloween. Given that Sam's real dad is Billy Loomis, her name could also be Sam Loomis. Sam Loomis happens to also be the name of a main character in Halloween, which Scream is inspired by, and Psycho, which Halloween is inspired by. Of course, we know that Sam is also having these visions of her dead dad, Billy Loomis, which, let me tell you guys, I understand that the cheese is real and the cheese was there, but nobody can take the moment away from me when I saw Billy Loomis on that screen. So in the first Scream, Billy says the iconic line, "It's like Jodie Foster in The Silence of the Lambs," when she keeps having flashbacks of her dead father, which also shows you the filmmakers took this film seriously. They did their homework with this callback. And now Sam is like Jodie Foster in The Silence of the Lambs, and Billy, of course, is her dead father. Then there is the Dawson's Creek nod, because we all know the writer behind the first Scream, Kevin Williamson, also created Dawson's Creek. On top of that, Scream 3 icon Scott Foley and Scream 2 star Joshua Jackson appear in the Dawson's Creek clip that's included in the film. Tatum also makes an appearance in Dewey's home in the form of her ashes in the box, which Dewey decorated with some flowers. Gail also references her iconic bangs that we saw in Scream 3. In the scene in Dewey's trailer, he's watching Gail's morning show, and she actually introduces a segment on bangs. We also learn that Sydney is now married, and most likely married to Detective Mark Kincaid from Scream 3, and they have at least 2 daughters. Then we have the celebration of Wes Craven's life and career, with of course one of the characters being named Wes, and then if you also remember the scene at the party, there's a banner hanging that says, "For Wes." We also have fan favorite Kirby Reed, who is most likely still alive. So in the film, Richie can be seen watching a video about the new Stab film, and the next recommended video is interview with survivor Kirby Reed. And also, I didn't spot this, but Kirby is saved as a contact in Dewey's phone. Lastly, the final scene of the new Scream 100% mirrors the ending of Scream 96, because it ends with the camera panning away from Stu's house after the chaos and the bloodshed that just happened. And let me know any Easter eggs that I might have missed in the comments down below. Yes, you guys, I loved this film. I think it was fantastic. It had everything we needed as Scream fans. The horror, the gore, the jump scenes, the callbacks, the cameos, the 6 psycho killers, and the whodunit. And of course, Skeet Ulrich coming back as Billy Loomis, which will forever be one of my favorite things in the entire world. Let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns, and opinions about the new Scream in the comments down below. Alright friends, that's going to be it for me. If you like these kinds of videos, I have an entire playlist linked in the description box below where I talk about horror movies. Thank you so much for watching, and you can follow me on all my socials if you want to. And I'll see you guys soon.